Ross Gerber made a statement today on Twitter about the condition of Virgin Galactic and the fact it will never fly due to cracks on the wings. Let's discuss his Twitter post right now. Before I do though, please do subscribe to my channel. I have breaking news throughout the day. I go live 10 hours a day and everything you see on my channel is 100% real, genuine, and I'm not here to pump or promote anything, just the facts as I see them. Smash the like button if you approve this message, and let's go into it right now. This is what Ross Gerber said, an influencer on Twitter, huge investor in Tesla, not however I believe Virgin Galactic. Too many people like to say things to get free views, and I'll demonstrate that, and I will prove to you what I'm talking about and what my concerns are with the wings on Virgin Galactic. This was my response on Twitter. The statement was made today, just someone on Twitter wanting free views. What is free, however, has no value. Very, very important, I think. I will respond with a video, and here it is. Ross Gerber, who has made this statement today on Twitter. Let's look at the facts, and let's compare that to actual aeroplanes, regular aeroplanes, including Virgin's Boeing. So let's have a quick look. So this is what he said: the space plane that will never fly. None of this is surprising. This was always a pipe dream and could never should have been a public company. That's what he said, and let me go into some details right now. So, first of all, these are the first reactions to his comments. If only I were on the board, if only you were on the board of directors. Indeed, this information is purely gossip, rumour and nonsense, and I'm going to prove it to you now. Richard Branson is also a fraud. Say it right. Someone piped in there, probably doesn't know Richard Branson. I myself have worked for Sir Richard Branson. What you're telling me, that space company that put SPACs on the map, was all BS. All right, let's move on from these silly comments. We're not interested in making up stories. Let's have a little look here at the facts. Wings like cracked eggshells. Richard Branson faces turbulence over safety of space flights. Investors are pursuing legal action against Virgin Galactic, claiming the company's two spacecraft were not designed for regular space travel. They are designed for regular space travel, and we'll discuss that and prove that in a few moments. In a desert basin in New Mexico, Richard Branson hopes history will be made later this year with the launch of Virgin Galactic's first commercial flight to the edge of space, with tickets costing around $450,000. In its ambitious schedule to launch the world's first commercial space liner at Spaceport America, which I'm going to later on this year. I've already been to the Virgin Orbit Space Station. I'm going there very soon. Even though it has already more than a decade late. I like how they make that in red. This is a rocket company, and if you look at all rocket history of the Apollo missions and so on, they all take time, and thank God they do. And when things go wrong, investigations have to happen. We are not making tins of beans. We are making rocket ships with people, human beings, going into space. Not concerned why that's in red, I have no idea. But getting to lift off will be one of the greatest challenges of Branson's career. The company already faces criticism over the safety and effectiveness of its operations in a number of lawsuits in the United States. Many companies are getting sued. Nearly all corporations get sued at times. That is normal standard practice. That happens. Things need to be investigated as they should be. This is no big shakes to me. And just to confirm that this information comes from The Guardian. Okay, let's move on again. This is where Ross Gerber gets his information from. Branson initially hoped that he would send 50,000 astronauts into space by 2019, but the project has been beset by perhaps delays and disaster. A pilot was killed and another suffering injuries with Virgin Galactic spaceship. 2 shuttle VSS Enterprise crashed into the Californian desert, once again in red, in 2014. I can't think of any car company that has not had crashes, any space company, plane company that has not had crashes. This is standard standard stuff. Expect it to happen. How many times has Elon Musk crashed SpaceX rockets? Anyway, I love how they make it in red, like it's a dramatic statement. The company's active vehicles, the carrier aircraft VMS Eve and VSS Unity, the second spaceship, have not flown since Branson's trip to the edge of space in July 2021, while the share price has fallen more than $55 at its peak to around $5. Okay, the reason why it's dropped is not because it hasn't flown or people are dying or all the other news that we're talking about here. And we're about to come on to the cracked wings, so please bear with me. You'll find that quite entertaining, actually. I found it entertaining. Is the fact that it's a high-risk stock because it's regarded as a high-risk stock because as yet it's not made any profits. It's made sales, it's sold out its tickets, but not made profits. How can it? It's a rocket company. It's building the rockets. It costs money. And because there is no flight and no profit making at the moment, and we are in a market where we're looking at companies that make money and profits, people are parking their money elsewhere in other companies. I've done the same myself. Richard Branson has done the same himself. It makes perfect sense to build up your cash and your money in other growing stocks and come back to Virgin Galactic just before it takes off. That makes sense. But remember, you don't have to buy the bottom of the stock at all. If I bought Virgin Galactic tomorrow at $20 and it went to 40, I have still doubled my money, right? So that is it's a silly statement to make. Virgin Galactic was founded in 2004, and it was initially hoped that the paying astronauts would be flying missions by 2007. Richard Branson has great dreams, and most of those dreams have come to reality. I have many dreams, and my dream is to grow the best YouTube channel in the world. And people laughed at me. I now have the most engaged officially channel on YouTube. More of my live viewers are paid members than any other channel. 95% of my live viewers are members. I dream big. I'm a small YouTuber, but I constantly dream big. Nothing wrong with that either. Some investors are now pursuing legal action against Virgin Galactic after the string of delays, claiming alleged defects in the craft were not properly disclosed. Okay. Just think about that for a minute. You're an investor in the company and you're going to sue the company because you believe that Virgin Galactic have not expressed the details of defects to you. That sounds a bit odd to you. It certainly sounds odd to me. Anyway, they allege Eve and Unity were prototypes and were not designed for regular space travel, and say their claims are supported by internal corporate documents. In one of the cases filed in December 2021 by Martyn Tustin and other investors, the complaint states Unity and Eve were so rickety that every flight could be their last. Cracks appeared on Eve's wings after every flight, and some were not fixed, so much so that a Virgin Galactic employee said the wings looked like spider webs or cracked eggshells. Well, first of all, I think this is hearsay, and it sounds pretty nonsensical to me. But I did actually, after I read this, contact several pilots and airlines and ask about what does this mean, and what do regular aeroplanes look like if we looked at them details. Are there marks on them? Are there cracks on them? And I was actually told by pilots and different plane companies, aerospace companies and plane companies and so on, that if you look at detail, if you look closely at regular aeroplanes, they don't look so wonderful as they do in the air, and there are marks and cracks and defects. That doesn't mean they're unsafe. So I think, again, this is a great headline to grab if you're not an investor of Virgin Galactic and you want to drive the stock down, shorting the stock so perhaps you can get it at a cheaper price. I'm not dismissing that this is an important statement. However, does it make any sense? And do we think for a minute that Virgin Galactic are going to be flying rocket ships with cracks on the wings and they all fall off? This is why Virgin Galactic is taking its time, because of one accident, one member of the public die on the first 100 flights, the company is finished. However, regular planes crash. Once we've had 1,000 flights and everything's great, I'm sure we'll be able to afford, as sad as it would be, a crash. cars crash, planes crash, but we can't have that on the first flights. I mean, we have to go hundreds, if not 1,000 flights before we have one that crashes, of course, and then an investigation would ensue and things would work out the way they normally do for regular aeroplanes. But I can't believe for a moment that Virgin Galactic have rocket ships covered in cracks like eggshells. And in fact, I speak to, through Twitter, employees at Virgin Galactic, and I have not heard of anything to suggest that there are cracks all over the wings. I think that sounds absolutely ridiculous. Investors also claim that some technical failures or problems during flights were not properly disclosed, allowing Branson and others to sell shares artificially inflated prices. Virgin Galactic has said it has always properly disclosed safety and design issues. I believe that. I've worked with Richard Branson, and I know that this is his legacy, and he wants this to be some fantastic thing for humanity to fly into space. And I can't wait. I've got no issue if Virgin Galactic say it's safe to fly. I will fly into space, and I can't wait to put my name on the list. It is alleged in the case filed by Tustin that one of the shuttle Unity's horizontal stabilizers had popped like a bag of potato chips. Just the terminology used here, bag of potato chips. That would not be the way an engineer would describe such a comment. In fact, I mentioned that comment to some aerospace engineers, and they would not describe it as pop like a potato chip either. In a test flight in February 2019, and that on Branson's flight to the edge of space in July 21, the shuttle strayed outside its glide zone, putting the lives of astronauts at risk. We know what happened there, that it went out of its zone, and as we know that it was investigated and that everything moved on from that. That wasn't a big deal at all. Moving on, Virgin Galactic had described Branson's flight as perfect. However, a New Yorker article in September 21 revealed that the shuttle had veered off course. We know that. This is not new news, and this does not pose an issue. A US direct court judge in New York, Elaine Ross, found in November that some statements by Virgin Galactic concerning, in red, the flights in February 2019, July 21, were materially misleading based on the claims set out by the plaintiffs. The judge said that I find that Branson did have motive and opportunity with respect to the statements regarding the success of his July 11, 2021 test flight. Branson sold over 10 million shares of stock for total proceeds of nearly 300 million in August 2021, just weeks before it was publicly revealed that Unity had strayed from its landing cone and risked a crash landing. Okay. Finally, over the period covered in the Tustin lawsuit, from July 29th to 2019, Branson sold shares in Virgin Galactic worth about 892 million. Why wouldn't you sell the shares when you knew there wasn't flights coming up for a while? It makes perfect sense. I've done the same. I'm the most bullish person of Virgin Galactic. I want to buy all the shares, and I've suggested ways of me doing that. I love Virgin Galactic. I've sold my shares. I've made profits. I'm buying back in when it's low. That's what a good investor does. That's what a businessman should do. Okay, the legal actions are being vigorously defended by Virgin Galactic, and Branson said he is focused on delivering the commercial space service to customers who have booked tickets. About 900 people have already signed up and paid their money. Both Eve and Unity have undergone an enhancement program to improve vehicle performance and flight rate capability. Virgin Galactic says the company aims to conduct test flights of Eve this month and subsequently for Unity. The space commercial passenger launch will carry an Italian Air Force crew for research, which will be followed up by 6 paying passengers flying monthly. The company is also preparing a new generation of spaceships called Delta Class, which will be designed to fly weekly. Does this look like they're expecting, wings covered in cracks like eggshells and flying once before they crash? Not in my book. Virgin Galactic said last week that it would not comment on ongoing litigation, which is standard for any legal situation, but confirmed its commercial service was on target to launch after this year. So there is those statements that was quoted here by Ross Gerber. Now, Ross Gerber, as I understand, actually isn't even an investor in Virgin Galactic, is an investor on Tesla, and just some moments after he posted that, he made some very enthusiastic statements about the stock price of of Tesla, and it's going to go up to the moon like investors do. Now, I'm an investor. This is my actual position. These are my actual shares. This is my actual portfolio. There it is on the screen. That's my actual worth with my Roth IRA. I'm a small investor, but I'm very passionate. This is my money. This is what I believe in. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just reporting the facts, because what's important to me is grow the most honest, real YouTube channel in the world. That's my aim. That is what I'm trying to do, not sell stories, not get free views on Twitter. I think it's very, very important to bring the truth, the news, the reality. A few views on Twitter, what is the value? Anything free has no value whatsoever. What do you think? Do you think that Virgin Galactic has wings like cracked eggshells, and the moment it takes off, it's going to crash? Or do you think it's an investment? For me, it's an investment. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.